What up, Naughty Steppers? Connor Whitmore here again with another review for you on the Nawtystep channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a live review of the new track from FuntCase and Versa, Death Stomp. Surprisingly, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've covered FuntCase on the channel, the man himself, Mr. James Hazel. A reflection, I think, on the rareness with which he releases music at the moment, not to say that that's a bad thing. He's got all the DPMO stuff going on, plays so many shows, and it's an event whenever he puts out a new track, and honestly, I really like that. Can't say I'd heard of Versa before this song became public knowledge. Seems like a very new and emerging producer, potentially an alias of a bigger name. Not a lot on the SoundCloud page, although I did check out the only full track there, Devil Face, which was actually quite decent. Got a lot of traction so far, and will be on the new DPMO Volume 3 with a highly anticipated ID, seemingly one to look out for. So yeah, all things considered, very excited to be doing this live review. For those that may not be familiar, a live review is me listening to a track for the first time whilst recording. Kinda like a reaction video, but more about the review and response side of it. So I will be stopping the track at various points in order to give my thoughts while listening, and coming to a couple of conclusions at the end by answering some questions that I've already written for myself. But here we go, FuntCase and Versa, Death Stomp, let's do it! And just before we get started, the artwork is fantastic. I think it perfectly depicts and describes the title of the song to a T. We've got that big Doc Martin boot stomping on the head, which I assume is on a curb of some sort. Got the eyeballs popping out. So yeah, I think also that this will be a good representation of what the song is going to be like. So yeah, here's hoping. FuntCase Versa, Death Stomp, mad artwork. Let's go. Straight in. I'm going to go back to the beginning again in a sec, but I think, you know, previously I've known a lot of sort of FuntCase tunes to start with a kind of a big horn or a drum or something like that, and kind of really setting the scene, making it quite atmospheric. But nah, this one is coming straight in with that rhythm backdrop. Maybe that is the influence of Versa, you know, having heard that Devil track on his SoundCloud page, I would assume that's where it's come from. But yeah, straight in there, let's start it again. Oi, 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 oi.
Death Stomp. Goodbye.
Oi! Oh, oh shit! Oh shit! Shit!
System error.
Oh! Oh! Okay, at that point, I'm gonna have a quick breather. Usually with songs like that, at that point you get like a doo, and it kind of sets the scene again. But as we know from the introduction, that is not the story of this track. Oh no, no. No, this one is just not really letting up. It's just the beat is gonna keep going. It's not gonna have a moment of respite. I mean, we do have around... There is more than half of the song still to go. I think we're just over a third of the way through. So it could end up having one of those kind of scene-setting midsections, but overall, I think no, it's not going to let up. It's just going to keep providing that beat, keep thumping, pounding, plodding along. But yeah, so much to dissect with that drop. I don't think I can remember everything in terms of specific moments, but what I do remember is that it was taking my attention down all sorts of different avenues and directions, and I loved it for that. Loads of different sounds on show as well. A lot of variety as well in kind of note placement and where the moments of impact were, which I think is really important for a good dubstep track. You don't want it to be doing just the same thing again and again. You want those little moments of alteration and just spicing it up, keeping it varied with where the sounds are placed, as I said. Yeah, some of those like climbing down notes with ding, 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 ding. Oh, some of that was so good. All the little drill sounds, the squealing sounds. Oh, it's a very diverse drop section we've got there, and I'm really liking it for that. Couple moments that I thought were a bit flat, where the ideas weren't shining through quite as much, or where there weren't particular sounds that were really sort of grabbing the attention, but overall, I think there's more than enough there to really constitute as a solid drop. I mean, unfortunately, it does have a distinct Marauder feel to it. If you are in the camp of, I'm really annoyed that people are copying, almost mimicking Marauder's sound, formerly known as Mastodon, of course, then you're not going to be happy with this song, I don't think. But if you are okay with just being like, you know what, Marauder made that sound and he's made it his own, but people are copying it because they know that it's really good. If you can kind of separate and distance yourself from that mimicking, from that copying aspect, then there is so much to enjoy here. This isn't me saying that Marauder makes Riddim, by the way. I know he makes Tear Out, but it has got a Riddim backdrop, so it is that, but with a Tear Out kind of feel to it. So yeah, let's just make that distinction right now. But as I said, probably just over a third of the way through, so yeah, gonna carry on from here. Here we go. The moment of respite as the track builds back up.
Death Stomp. Goodbye.
Oh! 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 Oh my god! Oh! Ow! 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 Come on! Oh, that is fucking savage. Oh my word. Bloody hell. That's good. Again, so much to dissect there. Where do I start? You know what I've really enjoyed about that whole kind of midsection bit, kind of as an extension of the introduction, and obviously also we have the outro doing the same thing, is that I'm kind of caught in between two minds as to whether to go with the beat, the Riddim beat, so whether I'm going like that, boom, boom, bat, or whether I'm following all of that glitchy stuff that's going on top. So it's like, it's very extraterrestrial, very alien-like, and I love it. It just really creates an image for you and kind of puts you into a world beyond the music itself. Which is great. So the contrast there I find really powerful, and that brief moment of respite that we get as well before building up to the second drop I think is great. I think that builds on that image even more so. And the second drop I think is just as savage as the first, but potentially even more so because it's just building and kind of reinforcing what we got to start with, and it kind of reminds you of the stuff that you loved about the first one that you maybe forgot after hearing it the first time around. So the kind of continuity of that, reminding you of what the first drop section was good for, is a really good aspect of it. Something about the first drop that I forgot, which I really enjoyed, were the vocal samples, which really play such a big role in ensuring that all the dubstep here is really well cut, the way that they're kind of dropped in there, creating those moments of contrast, and again, just so varied in terms of note placement, but also the sounds used, and also, in amidst all of that, whilst all of that is happening, it's still so forceful. The percussion is on point. There was such a big risk, as there is with most dubstep music, that if the drums aren't on point, then you're not going to feel the full force of all of those sounds that lay on top, but you do, because the percussion is there. And I don't know if that's a FuntCase thing or a Versa thing or them working together, but really, everything coming together in these drops, it really is very on point. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they aren't the best ideas that I've ever heard, but that really would be saying something, and I think for Riddim music in particular, this is some of the best stuff that I've heard in a fair while. I don't even think that that is really far-fetched what I'm saying there. I've got to drink some water after reviewing that because that tune is fucking dench. But just before we get on to those concluding questions, I'm going to listen to that second drop one more time.
Death Stomp. Goodbye.
Oh, this fake out as well! Oh, fucking come on! Oh, it's just clean, filthy, filthy filth. clean and filth. Very, very clean and filthy. Of the highest order. Now to move on to those aforementioned questions that I wrote for myself before listening to this song for the first time. What were your favourite parts of the track? Honestly, where do I begin? I mean, everything about it, really. The structure of it is great, the whole aesthetic they've got going on, the drops are fantastically varied in both sound and note placement, really good interaction between all the different sections, so yeah. Honestly, I usually am quite extensive with my answer to this question on most live reviews, but really, I feel like I've said it all already. This song has so much going for it, and it's more one of those where you're kind of looking for the drawbacks and faults with it, really digging for them in this case than looking for the good stuff, which is rare today with dubstep music in my opinion. It could change when I hear it on headphones for the first time. I'm using my speakers or monitors right now. But at the moment, for me, it's got everything you could ask for in a modern dubstep track. I mean, it's clean, it's well put together, loads of moments of force and impact in it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to find fault with it, really. And so in answering the second question, what were your least favourite parts of the track? I'm not really sure. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, there are maybe a couple of moments where the ideas aren't quite as strong, and I feel like the main sounds that they're trying to push through aren't really pushing through, and so there isn't a clear and obvious direction where it's going in. But honestly, that is being so pernickety and kind of exact and kind of facetious almost in my analysis of this song that I don't really think those points are relevant. Overall, there is so much going for this song. There isn't even a point or an extent to which I'm like, they should have developed that, or they should have pushed that idea further. For what it is and what it's trying to do, I think it excels in pretty much every department, every respect. So yeah, I'm struggling at the moment on my first listen to kind of find any fault with it. And finally, what do you make of the song overall? Gonna keep this one pretty short and simple. This is one of the best rhythm-leaning songs that I've heard this year, perhaps ever, and also one of the best I've heard on Circus in a long, long time. Yeah, overall, FuntCase and Versa, Death Stomp, big tune. And so there we have it, the latest live review on the channel of the new track from FuntCase and Versa, Death Stomp. What did you make of the track overall? Do you have any favourite moments from it yourself? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this live review, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell along the way so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video, and my social media accounts are in the description box down below. For some other live reviews on the channel, check out the link next to my head somewhere. Not the Slander and Company one though, oh no, that got taken down. RIP. And lastly guys, if it's naughty, then you know, so be sure, as always, to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.